Hi, my name is Elaine Dyer and I work for CAS Learning Partnership. And today we're going to be doing an introduction to the Data Security and Protection Toolkit. So we'll be looking at an overview of the toolkit and its value to you as a social care provider, what has changed in the requirements for the toolkit in 2020-2021, the first steps you need to take to register and set up your profile. I'll explain what you need to do if you have used the toolkit previously and published to entry level or standards met. And I'll talk you through all the help that is available through the Better Security, Better Care programme. So what is the Data Security and Protection Toolkit? It's a free online self-assessment of health and social care providers' data security and protection policies, procedures and processes. It's not just about your tech, it's about any information you hold about any person, whether that be your service users, your staff, your visitors. The toolkit will demonstrate compliance with data protection legislation, so GDPR, the Data Protection Act, and the 10 Health and Social Care Data Standards. The toolkit is reviewed annually, so it's completed every year. And this year you have until the end of June 2021 to complete it. This means it's a rolling process, so you can dip in and out throughout the year and make updates at any time. So it doesn't need to all be done at once. So the majority of the work will be for you in the first year, getting everything set up and together. But then going forward in future years, it's just going to be about keeping it updated as your answers roll forward from one year to the next. So once you've gotten over the slight hurdle of getting it all started, it will be much easier going forward. And it just gives advice and is a checklist of good practice of what you should be doing. So it's a really valuable source of advice about what you need to do and what you should know about data protection, information and cyber security. So why do you need to pay attention to this as a social care provider? Data and cyber security is really important for the safe sharing of records. And you'll see this especially in the last 12 months where we've really had to use more and more technology during the pandemic. It will help keep people's information safe. So this is your staff, service users, visitors. And it will help protect your business from the risk of being fined for a data breach and from this disruption of a cyber attack. As a social care provider, the data that you store is really valuable. You have lots of personal information on there and it does put you more at risk of having a cyber attack. We've got a link there to the ICO and it's some good real life examples of businesses that have been fined, unfortunately, for a data breach or from disruption of a cyber attack. And it does just show you the different things that could happen. And the toolkit will demonstrate compliance with legal and CQC requirements. And I'll talk more about CQC on the next slide. It's often a contractual requirement from local authorities and health to complete the toolkit. At the moment, it's not a contractual requirement for Cornwall Council, but it is something that they've been said they're going to look at in the future. And at the moment, the toolkit itself isn't mandatory for social care providers, but again, we do think this will become mandatory in the near future. So it's really worth engaging with now while you've got all this free help and support on offer. And the toolkit will be your passport to shared care records and other digital innovations with the health services such as NHS Mail, and it will just let you be part of a truly joined up care network, and it will put the interests of the people you support and care for right at the centre of that. So how will the toolkit help you? As I mentioned, it can be used as evidence for CQC. So this is for two Chloes, and that is C3.3. How are people assured that information about them is treated confidentially in a way that complies with the Data Protection Act and that staff respect their privacy? And well-led 2.8. How does the service assure itself that it has robust arrangements, including appropriate internal and external validation, to ensure the security, availability, sharing and integrity of confidential data and records in data management systems in line with data security standards? Are lessons learned when there are data security breaches? So it will help you give evidence for that, as well as GDPR and the 10 data standards. It builds trust, so people trust that care systems are going to protect information, and it will help reassure people using your services, their families, and also your staff that you keep data safe and you share it appropriately and securely. As we said, it will help protect your business from the risk of being fined for a data breach and from the disruption of a cyber attack, and reduce risk. And it will also give you guidance so that you can practice good data security and be sure that personal information is handled and processed correctly. And as I mentioned, it does give you opportunities for data sharing, so you can gain access to digital tools like NHS Mail. And these projects can save you and your staff time and improve the quality of the care for the people you support. So, Data Security Protection Toolkit for social care providers, what's changed? Because of COVID-19, there is a waiver in place at the moment that allows you to access NHS Mail without using the toolkit. However, this is only in place until the 30th of June 2021, and after this time you will need to have completed and published the toolkit to access NHS Mail and continue using it. So the expectation is that all adult social care providers will have completed and published to at least approaching standards by the 30th of June 2021. Now, I know this can be daunting if you're at the start of your digital journey to complete the toolkit, but rest assured we are going to be offering support until at least December 2021, and that's free help and support. So for now, we just really want you to focus on getting registered, and then the rest can follow. At the moment, 89% of providers in Cornwall are not registered for the toolkit or published approaching standards, and we really want to see this change and help you guys to complete the toolkit and make sure that Cornwall's leading the way. So the DSPT journey, so what we want you to focus on today is registration. So if you're not registered for the toolkit, we want to help you take this first step. Once you're registered, there are 2 levels that you complete the toolkit to and publish at. So there's approaching standards, which is a bit of a stepping stone, and for this you need to complete the 27 mandatory questions and then provide an action plan to show how you're going to meet standards met in the future. Once you've published at approaching standards, you can then use NHS Mail. And then in the future, we hope to get you to standards met, and that's completing all 44 of the social care questions. And that's really where we want you to all be, making sure that your data is safe and protected and you're able to use more digital tools. So step 1, registering for the toolkit. If you head to the website link shown, and to register, you need a valid email address. And when we say valid, we want you to think about who from your organisation will be completing the toolkit. So it's your Data Security Protection Toolkit Administrator, and you want to make sure it's their email address you're registering your account with. And then you also need your ODS code, so your Organisation Data Service Code. If this is something you do not know, please get in touch with us and we can provide that to you really quickly and easily. So once you've entered those 2 things, you're going to be sent an automated email, and you need to make sure that you do open this within 24 hours and set up your password for your account. So keep an eye on your spam folder and make sure that you get that done within 24 hours. The other thing we want to make sure you're doing is that you're registered with the ICO. So this is really important because you can be fined £4,000 if you're found not to be registered. So again, just click on the link there, head over and set this up. We recommend doing it on a direct debit so that you don't have your registration expire. It will just be on a rolling process. So that's really what we want to focus on with you today, is registering for the toolkit. It's simple and straightforward, and making sure you're registered with the ICO. So step 2. Once you're registered and you've clicked the link on the automated email to set up your password and you log in for the very first time, you'll be greeted with what's on screen here, and it will be about completing your organisation profile. So what you need to do is choose the category that best describes your organisation. So for you, you're going to want to click on Choose Social Care, and this means that once you've gone through, it will show you the correct social care view to complete the toolkit. So we suggest you only choose your organisation type at this stage. You can go back in at any time to update or change other questions later. If you answer the other questions, you will be asked about key roles, and if your organisation uses NHS Mail or has a Cyber Essentials Plus certification. If you know that, that's fine, you can answer. Otherwise, you can select not sure if you're uncertain, and you can leave it blank. So your toolkit view, so once you've logged in and you've registered and you've completed your profile, which should all be very straightforward and simple, you'll see this toolkit view. So that's the social care assessment, and it will show you all the different questions that you have to answer, and it will show you which are mandatory and which questions you've completed. You don't have to complete the toolkit in any specific order, so it is split into 4 sections, which I'll talk about on the next slide. But you can really dip in and out any time, and you can go in, answer all the questions that seem easy to you that you might already have the answer to, and you can come back and look at others later. So the questions on the toolkit are grouped under 4 headings. So you've got staffing and roles, and this is having a named person responsible for this area and making sure your induction and ongoing training covers data and security and protection for your staff. You have policies and procedures. So this is being registered with the ICO, as I mentioned, having data protection policies in place, having a records retention schedule and privacy notice, and following good practice around destruction of records and computer equipment. Data security, so having good building and physical security in place for your paper records, plans for what to do in case of an emergency, for example, losing power or the internet, and managing data breach as well if something does happen. And you then have IT systems and devices. So this is having basic IT good practice, and that will cover most of these questions. So for example, having antivirus software. But we do know that a lot of you are very small organisations and this can be hard. So it's about looking at, external IT support companies, and we can help with that. So part of the benefit of the toolkit is about making sure you're equipped to ask the right questions. So you can see here which questions you have to answer to reach approaching standards. So that's those mandatory questions, and how many questions you'd have to answer to get to standards met. So if you've already published at entry level or standards met in 2019, 2020, what you'll have to do is log in and update and answer any questions which have changed for 2020-21, and try and do this by the deadline of the 30th of June. If you're really ahead and you've already published to approaching standards or standards met for this year, then that's fine, you're all done, fantastic, and you'll just need to review that within the next year. So we're here to help. We are the local partner for Cornwall for the Better Security, Better Care programme, which is funded by NHSX. And you can find lots of really useful resources, template policies, and also some free training videos on the Digital Social Care website. And they do also have a helpline, a phone number, and an email, so you're welcome to get in touch with them with any questions. For CASC, we're going to be providing workshops on all 4 sections of the toolkit and going through the questions one by one to help you. So keep an eye out for those dates on our website. We're also very happy to offer one-to-one support. So if there's a particular area that you feel you need extra help on, please do get in touch with us. Our email's below. We have our help desk, so feel free to email us about any particular questions and we can get back to you on those. If you attend any of our workshops, we will be giving you a certificate of attendance that you can use for your CPD file. And we are looking at peer mentors, so for care providers that have already completed the toolkit and published to standards met, we will be looking to link those up with others so that they can share their knowledge. And all resources available on our website for the toolkit. So next steps, get in touch with us for your ODS code, get registered, set up your profile, and then you're ready to take the journey with us to complete the toolkit. Come along to some of our workshops and we can talk you through each section. Get in touch for that one-to-one help, and we're here for you. So just please do keep in touch, and we look forward to helping you through this process. Thank you.